What is up, my kings and queens and all in between? It's Andrew Velasquez with another episode of Mindful Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for coming back and returning season two. We're going long and strong, everybody. If you're watching, you already see this beautiful face in front of me. I'm so excited to introduce them to you in just a second. But I have a little bit of homework for you. Go to those reviews, go to those ratings, give it some stars, share it with somebody that you know it'll resonate with, because most likely they see it, it'll come out in their algorithms as well. That song you just heard is called Mi Corazón. You could download it wherever you stream your favorite music. And today, your one-stop shop for all things mindfulness, creativity, while being an entrepreneur and having spirituality. I'm so excited to introduce to you guys Viet Dang. Everybody, welcome Viet. Hi,
Hi
Viet.
everyone.
Welcome, welcome,
Hi
gorgeous.
Andrew.
So good to see you. Can I give you a little introduction, a little bio?
Yes, please.
All right. So here we have Viet Dang, an internationally known hip hop dancer, dance teacher, and choreographer. Ethnically Vietnamese and raised in Switzerland, Viet has danced at the Grammy Awards, the MTV European Music Awards, AMAs for artists such as Christina Aguilera, Rihanna, Muse. He also has danced in music videos for stars like Beyoncé, Justin Timberlake, No Doubt, Nelly Furtado, etc. He has worked as an assistant choreographer for US singer and top stars like Kesha for the Swiss Music Awards. Viet has received universal acclaim for his choreography of the TV series So You Think You Can Dance in Poland, as well as for his outstanding work for music video productions in Switzerland and abroad. Viet Dang teaches hip hop workshops and masterclasses on a regular basis all around the globe, such as Spain, Portugal, Argentina, Japan, Switzerland, Poland, Italy, Germany, etc. And he speaks seven languages. Oh my God. Every Tuesday, you can catch Viet and Friday teaching at IDA Hollywood in Los Angeles. Welcome, welcome, babe. How are you? Bravo.
Good.
Wow. Oh my goodness. How does it feel to hear back some of your accomplishments? And that's just like a snippet of it because I've known you for a long time and you're so talented. So in reflection,
Thank
like
you.
how does it feel to hear someone read back a little bit of your legacy?
You know, you don't really feel a lot. I mean, I don't really feel a lot because when I do it, I'm so in the moment of doing it. And, I have such a mindset of like never be good enough, So I'm like, I hear this and I'm like, hmm. Well, that one hasn't paid me yet. This one has treated me like that. Um,
I
this
love the
one was a
honesty.
this one
Yes.
was a bitch. This one was very nice, but the money wasn't right. So
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah. So hearing all this accomplishment, I'm like, I should be rich, right? But
Yeah, especially when you hear names as big as Christina, Beyonce, like these are legends,
um,
icons, that are touring the world. But I have had the opportunity to collaborate and work with you as well, and I'm grateful that we've crossed paths. And coincidentally, we were also neighbors in Echo Park, California, like
yes.
literally neighbors, you guys. Like, hello, can I borrow some milk? You want some butter? Um, and it was, I mean, that's just like how Los Angeles is, right? It's inevitable that you're going to cross paths with other artists of different genres. And we did a submission music video for Madonna's song Ghostwriter, which was awesome. And Viet came down this long pole with his gorgeous hair, like almost like a curtain, unveiling his beauty. And I did the Madonna impersonator lookalike, and it was an amazing experience.
You
After that,
know, yeah, you know what was funny after that job? It like came
hmm
full circle.
yeah,
Um, the girl that assisted or was one of the dancers in that music video,
yeah,
in that video for submission, she
yeah.
ended up working as assistant choreographer for Avatar 2 and
Oh,
3
that's
with James
right.
Cameron. And she ended up hiring me, booking me
Yeah,
directly working for James Cameron
that's
for Avatar 2
incredible.
and 3. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So mindful artistry, my crowned community, this is what it is to be an artist and creative and network with others and always be like-minded and good at your job and your craft because you never know. He got referred to that Avatar 2. You just never know who's listening, who's going to think about you, and who's going to remember how you made them feel on that particular gig. So, and for me, same thing. Like I remembered how well we worked together. So I'm like, I'm gonna have with Viet somehow in the future. And even more importantly, you were in the cover of my book. You were La Araña, which is chapter 6, like really close to mi corazón, like my literally my heart. All out there to just inspire and help others. So that's why I wanted you to be here on Mindful Artist Podcast, because I feel you represent all those different factors of this community. But let's go back in the past. Let's rewind a little bit. Flashback. Baby Viet, Switzerland. How was it growing up? Were you always creative? Were you always wanting to be a dancer? And were you spiritual in any way?
So we need to wind back a little bit more because I was born, Vietnam War,
Correct.
and I
Yes.
was born in a refugee camp. So my parents
Wow.
flew from the war by boat,
Yes.
and they ended up in Malaysia in a on an island that the UN
Yeah.
just prepared for 100 refugees, but at the end of the time, like at the end of it, like 350,000 refugees lived there. I
Yeah.
was one amongst them. So yeah, so there was
That's
born,
heavy.
yeah, there was born that year, apparently, 30 kids were born and
Yeah.
six made it out alive there. I was very sick because there was not enough hygienes. Every adult got 1 can of rice per
Hmm.
week and 1 can of tuna every 2 weeks. That was the
Oh
portion
wow.
that we got. And so I was very sick and so I lived there for 10 months, and then the Swiss government offered us asylum, the whole family. And then that's how I moved to Switzerland. Yes.
Wow. Do you have
So
any memories of that?
I only have memories of Switzerland.
Okay.
And if you can talk about trauma, whatever, the only thing that I'm really bad at is hunger. When I get hungry, I cannot stand that feeling and I get really hangry. Like,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
person you see now, it's like nothing compared to the person that is hungry. And
I mean, I can relate, but probably not to your levels, because that you
yeah,
were literally eating to survive. Like that was,
I
just kind
mean,
of.
they ate lizard. They
Hmm.
just ate whatever the island had to provide or did not have to provide.
Yeah,
So it was
absolutely.
so yeah, Jungle Boy.
I
And
love
then
that.
yeah, then moved to Switzerland. I was always creative in a way that to answer your question,
Yeah.
in the way that maybe because of the harsh environment, I was always in a dreamland, else I wouldn't have survived it. I wanted to believe in the good in the world and people and I wanted to live in fairy tale land, basically. And so my mind was always there. Yeah, I think I was always creative, like creating at least my own stories
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah, I feel you were kind of cinematically creating the fantasy of what you want to aspire to do and what you were trying to achieve and what could be outside of that, little bubble that you were being raised in. But Switzerland seems like a really cool, open country and just, I don't know, open-minded and diverse. And I mean, I've never been, but just from what I hear,
Um,
the
you
deep breaths of it
know,
all.
you know, I, you know, do you know the story about Meghan Markle, the way she talks about the crown? Where they
Yes,
didn't understand
the monarchy.
color, yeah, the monarchy, but also that the racism that was happening there, but people don't understand. And
Correct.
that's a little bit how Switzerland is so homogenic. And
Hmm.
I mean, it's a fairy tale land, for if you go there on vacation. But people are so homogenic and so conform that everything that is too past the middle ground in a good or bad way, it's just too much. So
Hmm.
I didn't really fit in,
Hmm.
I and also it was in the 80s, so there wasn't most people are blonde and blue-eyed and brown, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not. And compared to America's at least is outspoken about racism. So if you at least can talk about it, I mean, if you even
Have a dialogue.
you can have a dialogue, in there,
Hmm.
it's not really an understanding of it at all. It's not, I
It's
mean,
unspoken. It's like
it's
the
like, yeah, it's more like it's not like they see color. It's not they like black or white. Like, no, you're just not Swiss enough. You're just
Mm,
not Swiss enough. And what
yeah.
does Swiss mean? Like then there's come to definition. And
Blonde and blue eyes.
I'm never Swiss enough. Even like nowadays, and I speak this language, Swiss German, perfectly from a very specific region, which is Basel. So if I talk it on the phone, you don't see my face. Everyone thinks I'm native. But if I go to stores nowadays, still they speak English to me still, you know.
Yeah, interesting. So wait, so
Yeah.
we have Swiss, German, English, Vietnamese.
Yes.
What am I missing? That's four. There's three more.
French, Spanish,
French,
Italian,
Spanish.
and I do a little bit Japanese as well.
That's right, because
Because
we
I
have
don't I
spoken
don't consider
Spanish.
Swiss as it's considered a dialect. It's not considered a language, another language.
Correct,
So even
correct.
though they don't understand each other, like German don't understand Swiss people, but Swiss people do understand. It's more like
Correct.
Scottish. It's
Yeah,
almost like
yeah,
Scottish and English or British,
yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
thing.
I love that. Does your brain have to go to different parts to wear, like, I'm gonna wear my English hat now. I'm gonna wear my Spanish hat. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I think it's similar for you as well. I mean, you can
I mean, I
switch
have
like
two.
this,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
English and
like
Spanish. That's it.
Spanish. The same thing too. Like I just switched. The voice is just made in a different place of your mouth. So it might go a little bit higher or
Yeah.
deeper, but that's about
That's a
it.
good point. It's a
You
little bit
know?
like singing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I'm not a singer, but yes, tonality and melodically, you do have to use your voice in a different capacity because everything in Spanish is muy dramático. And it's, you know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like a telenovela. So
It's like it's very
food sounds
passionate.
better. Yes.
It comes from
Making
the
love
gut.
sounds better. Chile sounds better. And in English, it's more like for me, it's a little more authoritative and
Yeah.
like storytelling where
Yes. I
there's like a
think
up and down, you know?
I mean, Spanish is, I think, for me, preferred language to to express your emotion and to fight,
Yes,
and
yes.
English, like German is matter of fact, like you want to explain something, you can
Uh-huh.
be very correct about it. And then
Yeah, you
English
sound
is
really smart in German, I feel too, like intellectual. Yeah.
yeah,
I love that. I wish I could
that's
speak
it.
Italian. That one sounds so beautiful. And French too, whenever because we have a mutual friend, Nelly Furtado, who I'm trying to get on here, but we're always trying to figure it out. And French always sounds so beautiful and romantic and like music, but I cannot get it. And it's Johnny can speak French a little bit. He says it's more like the rote, where I guess Spanish is more like nasal. I don't know. I can't. Like you roll your R's in Spanish, and then in French you
Mhm.
use a lot of grotto, like versus the rolling of the R's.
Give me a second. I
So
want to close this one door because the wind is
yeah,
blowing and it goes,
go
it,
ahead,
it turns
go
up
ahead.
and
Yeah, yeah. So I'm obsessed with languages. I love accents. It's funny hearing the Spanish in this area because I'm currently in Orlando, Florida now, so it's more Caribbean based. So the Latinx generation here is like Cubano, Boricua, Venezuela, Colombia, you know what I mean? So when I'm talking in Spanish and they're like, you can just see them, they're like, wait, what? Where are you from? Like, they don't know what I am. Nobody, and I'm like, guess, go ahead, guess. Uh, Middle Eastern, Algerian,
Middle
uh,
Eastern.
Italian. I'm like, nope, no. I'm like Latino. Well, what kind of in Argentina? Nope, nope. Nobody guesses Mexican because there aren't that many Mexicans in the Southeast. They're mostly and the ones that are here, I believe are more like Cancun, kind of like Tulum, like that kind of region, Caribbean versus the West Coast or Central Mexico is different. So it's just fascinating to hear. And then Johnny, he's my white girl, he's from Sacramento, so he talks like a Valley girl. So every word is like and oh my God. And so everyone
Yes.
already is like, where is he? He's from Los Angeles. They can tell he's from LA right away. But what do you get? What kind of guesses do people think
When they hear me speaking what language?
in general, I guess, in general?
Uh, I mean, they just think I'm Asian,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
for the Vietnamese, I'm not Vietnamese enough. And they're like,
yeah.
you're Japanese, Korean, but then for the Korean, I'm clearly North Korean. I'm not, so I'm just Asian, I guess. But I grew up so multicultural, so it's kind of like
I love that.
everything, even my English accent. I went to like English accent class to like reduce my accent. So
I don't think you have an accent. I mean, subtle, slight, but it's
yes,
cute.
but it was really hard to figure out what it is and where. Even for me, like, and it's just so subtle that I can barely hear it. But also the teacher had difficulty to say, okay, does it come from, is it a German English Vietnamese mix or what is it exactly? So
It's
yeah.
very unique. It's very Viet and it's very you. And don't change it. We love it. Don't retrain that accent. It's part of your charm and character. All right. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about your origins and how you grew up and just the struggles. And it makes sense to why you're such a survivor and a conqueror. And you're always having that like uh want to just I don't know, you're out there to conquer and you're on a quest. You know what I mean? I feel like you're on a mission and you're always out to be better and be bigger and level up. And I appreciate that because I see that in your craft, in your choreography, and even when you collaborated with me for my book, like what you evoked through that character for La Araña, I mean, I couldn't have you. It was just like it was beautiful. So I love seeing you perform and evoke emotion and storytelling through your body. Like that's just a magnificent gift. Like when did that discovery happen? When were you like, oh, this feels right? Like how I'm moving, this fluidness is my language. When did that trigger?
Well, I didn't, I'm like a typical Asian kid, right? Like I grew up like very learning math at home all the time and being an A plus student. A was barely enough. A plus wasn't good enough.
Yes.
And so I didn't dance until I was 16. You know, like my sister
Okay.
went to a dance class. She paid there for half a year tuition, but then she had issue with her knee, so she couldn't go anymore. And so she said, okay, why don't you go? Like to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, sure. So I went there and then like 2, 3 months in, um, the teacher was like, you're talented, you should go to a championship. And I was like, what, me championship? And I didn't tell my parents, so then I was dancing, right? I just right after school, I just went to this 1 hour
Yeah.
class and walked back home.
Yeah.
And so, and I never went out as well. And so I was 16, and then the championship was on a Saturday. And then my parents like, where are you going on a Saturday?
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, there's this championship. I supposed to dance because I'm qualified for them. And she was like, going to the toilet. So they locked me in the toilet, right? And didn't want me to dance. And my sister was like, hey, listen, it's just a one lifetime chance, whatever. Just let him dance. Who cares? You know, like just
Yeah.
this once. Then my mom was like, okay, good. You didn't tell us that you were dancing. So there are some sanctions that comes with that. I let
Yeah.
you go for this championship because it seems to be something. But if you win and only the first prize, you'll be allowed to continue dancing. If you don't, that's it. I was 16. I didn't
Wow.
care. I was like, yeah, sure. You know,
Yeah.
probably because she said it's my lifetime ever dancing again. Probably I put all I could in there. I know, but I won. I won,
For
and from
sure.
that day on, I start dancing and do more and start teaching and stuff like that. And for me, when I was on stage, I realized, this was the only place, like, you have to remember, I live in Switzerland, right? Everyone is brown, blue-eyed, whatever, and not like this. And stage was the only place where I was not judged for who I am, but celebrated.
Yeah.
So
I
I
love it.
felt like stage was the place where I could, or front of the camera was the place where I could like freely express myself, and in some way got celebrated. Also, it came with a lot of critiques, but I was used to critiques only, because all my
Yeah.
peers were like, "This is not conform. This is not." Yeah. So
I love that. I mean, the fact that you were still following this, it was supposed to just be like a hobby from the sister that you just inherited, and then you still kept going because it brought you like joy. And I love that the parents were like, "All right, you can continue, but you have to be number one and you have to be the winner. Otherwise, you're not going to continue." Like that, that talks about taking risks and going back to your personality of just always conquering that like you're a
I don't
fight, you're
know.
a warrior. You're a
No, I
warrior.
I don't want to be called. I want to read. I want to retire. I retired long time ago. But the thing is, like my parents, their goal was not for me to spur me on to win. She
Yeah.
was thinking, there's no way that I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
way the 16-year-old who just danced for 6 months is going to win. And that's it. To have me back into control and back to do the academic routes, which I also finished. But yeah, I don't consider myself as a warrior, and I don't consider myself as someone who's trying to you know, like grow and push
Conquer.
forward at all. That's also like if we talk about our quote later, I believe in magnetism more, like attract the things
Mm-hmm.
and not chasing things, which is like,
Mm.
and that's been I mean, I used to be different. I used to be, yeah, don't dream it, be it, blah blah blah, and now I'm at a point I'm like, I'm burned out, bitch. Like
Yeah.
I'm retired. Like I know my worth. That's who I am. Just take it or leave it,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
hear
it.
that. I mean, you've done the work, you've done the time. Uh, were you ever exposed to spirituality? Would you consider yourself spiritual? And what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's funny, like talking about how I fantasize and I thought about it, and I just realized that when I was 9 already, I remember watching a movie about spirituality and Buddha and stuff like that, and that's when I started to actually meditate by myself, and I didn't know it was meditation then.
How old were you?
I 9. So, and
Okay.
ever since then, I did almost every day, and it has been ongoing ever since now until now to today. So, and later in life, I realized, oh, okay, that's called meditation. Ah, there was a specific technique that I even did. I didn't know about it, like, and so, yeah, I wouldn't brag about it. I would, yeah, but I am definitely
That's so important that it happened at
yes.
such a young age. Ages 1 through 10, as a child brain shape who you are, your essence as an adult. So I love that that happened to you at such an early age where you
Yeah.
discovered the power of meditation because it can really balance you and level you and ground you.
Or
And
maybe my household was that crazy that this is was my only escape that
that
I
was your
had.
escape. Yeah. I love it. Yes. All right. Well, that leads me into this next section, a segment that's called How You Gonna Love Somebody Else If You Can't Love Your Damn Self First. So, because we're beauty people and we're in that, industry, do you have a self-care beauty regimen yet? And do you take selfishly time to service yourself before you invest in a project?
Okay, let's start with self-care regimen.
Hmm.
My self-care regimen is I wake up pretty early and then I go to the gym. And then after that, I just meditate. And then if I can choose and I don't have to work, I rather don't start my day. Like I want to have my own time until noon. And then after that, I'm functional and I can meet people, talk people, be there for people. Because I think there's always an exchange of energies, and
Absolutely.
and and um to my detriment, I guess, I'm very sensitive, as a person. And I just it just pulls me very easily in different kind of direction. Or yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
to.
you want to protect your energy. And that
So
makes
it
a lot of
just,
sense.
yeah, and especially like in our industry, like once you're on set, it's just like
Yeah.
pulling you
It's
everywhere. So
a lot of stimulation.
yeah. So my luxury is being like my regimen is basically gym, meditation, and be as much as I can by myself. You know,
I
that
love that. Yeah.
that's my thing.
Protect that
Um,
light, protect that essence. Yes. Very
and
cool.
then your question, the other question is something selfish for me.
Hmm.
I think that's been one of my biggest issues, like I don't know how it is for you as a makeup artist, but us as artists, we often are people pleasers. We do things for, I mean, I dance for the applause. Yeah, I used to dance for
Literally.
applause
Yeah.
and so I tend to not not look out for myself. And learning to set boundaries, it has been a very um hard lesson for me, especially since the pandemic, a lot of things have happened. And I really yeah, I'm really learning to set boundaries for myself, and being really like taking care of myself and ask
Mm-hmm.
myself often, what do I want? Because I take care of people easily, it's just it's I grew up in a household with four siblings and two
Mm-hmm.
parents, and usually there's multiple generation as well in there, like grandma, whatever there. So
Sure.
you learn how to like navigate everyone, but and you I never really learned to like listen to what I really want. So that
Yeah.
has been a challenge for me,
Yeah, and this
you
is
know.
why I want to have these types of conversations, especially for caretakers and creatives like ourselves, because I can relate, person of a ethnic household as well, and almost was a parent to the parents, and a parent to my siblings at times, which, you know, now I'm grateful for it and I can reflect, but did I have frustrations? Absolutely. And now I'm at a point where everything's a little bit more true perspective. I lost my mother. I've lost two pets that were really, really close to me. And I
I'm
think healthy
sorry.
boundaries, thank you. Healthy boundaries are necessary. Healthy boundaries are something that you should practice. It's never too late to do that. Whatever that means for your selfish time, take care of Viet, take care of I look at it as baby Viet, 10-year-old Viet. What are you gonna do for him? How are you gonna make him proud? Do you just want to hold him? You know what I mean? Is he feeling hangry right now? Then go get him some ice cream really quick. You know what I mean? But take care of that innocence because it's important. And for times as we're in our adult stage and we're trying to balance our obligations, remembering that innocence, it just, I don't know, for me, it brings it back in full circle and it makes it more special to be that human, just give gratitude for what you do have. But thank you for sharing that, and I'm happy that we can have this conversation to maybe give you some insight. So, what about beauty skincare regimen? Do you take care of? 'Cause this hair, I've worked on this gorgeous hair, and I know you eat well and you take care of what you feed yourself inside. But what is your beauty skincare regimen? Because you still look like you're 20 years old. What are your secrets?
Well, I'm Asian. Well, I think
Good answer. What
you
Asian don't
know,
raisin, right? And brown don't
yeah.
frown. Yeah.
Yes. Um, you know, yeah, I think I will be such a bad person to selling products because I don't do anything. The only thing I do right now is I wash my hair, my face
Hmm.
with whatever, and then I just put like water. Usually, like if I can choose non-scented stuff, and then I put
Okay,
CeraVe on my face as cream, and that's it.
great.
That's
You
what I
keep it
do.
simple,
I'm
streamlined.
I'm just lazy. I'm really lazy and I don't it has to be easy and convenient because I used to travel a lot, and I don't want to carry all
Hmm.
this stuff with me and I don't have that much time to spend as well. And
Right.
so but I have realized for me it's mostly what you put inside. So like as long as I'm eating healthy, I drink a lot of water. I mean, I've never drank alcohol, so it's not
Hmm.
my thing. It never
Hmm.
was. Maybe thankful to my father because he used to
Yeah.
drink alcohol and beat the shit out of us. So that's why
Oh,
we never touched it.
yeah.
And
The
but I
triggers and
only
traumas of it all. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I only drink water and tea. So that's the only thing I do. And
Love it.
uh
That's a great beauty
yeah,
skincare regimen. Yeah. No, I'm here
yeah.
for that.
And I'm
Water and
just
tea,
and I just cook a lot.
hydration. Your cooking is good. I've smelled it literally from next door.
When I do the
Um,
spring rolls.
Yes, and then your pastries, you would make like these great little desserts sometimes. You guys,
Yeah.
Viet is the neighbor to have for sure. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. So this leads me into our next segment, which is called Love is Art, Art is Love. So, Viet, what practices or routines do you have in place to nurture your creativity and spirituality while running your business?
So for me, it's a very good question because dance was used to be my biggest love, and because I moved to LA and it was all about love, my love had to make money. I start losing passion for it. I start losing because it started being just like a means to an end. Like to book the next job, to pay my rent, to put food on the table, to like, and uh, and and it's such a roller coaster, this industry, that I start losing the passion for it. So what I do to be creatively now, I play instruments, um, I start sewing, I start doing like little crafts and stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't, but and what I do is I do it just for myself. I'm trying not to show it off. Don't try to put it on Etsy. Don't try to sell, like do not like
No. Yeah.
just do it for myself, just for
Mm-hmm.
my creative expression. And
Mm-hmm.
if things ha supposed to happen, they will happen. And it was the same thing with you, like when I did this Madonna submission with you,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't thought about trying to like get network people and blah blah blah. It was just like I did it for a friend, and I kind of like because I was pole dancing then, like just try training and this choreographer was like, yeah, I want you to do like this pole dancing thing with your look and that's all I did. And it was a fun moment. And then through
Mm-hmm.
this, I got this job. I mean, work with you, and then got this job doing this picture with you, and then also did Avatar, which I never had to audition for, talking about fighting, like talking about like attracting things and not pursuing fighting anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that job just came to me without audition. My agent was like, hey, they're looking for someone who can dance and move, but looks like an avatar in real life, who
Yeah, check
can
off all those boxes.
yeah, and who can teach some like Kate Winslet and Sigourney Weaver how to move like avatars. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, what do you have to do for that? And they were like, well, just go to that studio, and once the director sees you and it vibes, you get it, else they send you back home, whatever. So I went there to that studio,
Yeah.
and then I walked into this room. I didn't know what it was for, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then this guy with the white hair comes up to me, which is James Cameron.
Uh-huh. I know exactly what
I
you're talking about.
I had no clue because I didn't expect it. And so he looked at me and he was like, so you have yet? I'm like, yeah, but can you dance? I'm like, sure. And he was like, okay, go and change. And that's
That
it,
was it.
you know?
I just got chills. That's
And then I'm like, okay,
James
good.
freaking Cameron. Like that's legendary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like decades of just cinematic experiences that have changed the world, and you were part of that. That's so cool. That's amazing. Congratulations. I'm so happy
Oh,
for you. That's so cool. I
thank
love that.
you.
Okay, very cool. So let's share some tips or advice for aspiring entrepreneurs looking to incorporate more creativity and spirituality into their work.
Oh, that's such a big subject for me. I think, I mean, I cannot do different I'm just a discerning person. I just try to think like always in bigger pictures and in generally about things that I do. And as I said before, um, I always go from a place of trying to be authentic first before I go outside. I don't try to seek things or just do things just to make it happen. With the neighbors, you know me, I'm not a typical
Yeah.
networker. You don't see me out and about and stuff like that. I really believe in the law like magnetism. You just attract the
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look for it. And uh what was the question again? Sorry, I forgot my
That's okay. Just to share any tips or advice for aspiring entrepreneurs looking to incorporate more creativity, maybe spirituality into their work too.
yeah, I mean, if I start to do a thing, I just think of like what is my inspiration. I think like or my intuition. I think instinct
Okay.
and intuition are two different things.
Yes.
Instinct is like lower, like not lower, just like hunger and sleep and sex and the intuition is it comes from above. And I try to go with my
Mm-hmm.
intuition, and I often think about other people as well. Like what does what I do affect other people? I have a lot of like people often ask me, hey, why don't you like make a hoodie thing and then you can sell it at conventions and stuff like that? And then my thought is like, first of all, the hoodies that I have seen so far, just like to print my name on it, they aren't how
Mm-hmm.
are they made? Who are the people who made it? Like kids' hands again, and it's not stylish enough. So
That's valid. Yeah.
so for example, what I have started to do is I start like sewing my own pants. Like for example, I can show you right now.
Oh, I
These
remember those.
these pants, I just start sewing
Yeah.
them, but it's for me and myself. And when I ever walk around the street, or like some people I really, really want to buy it, you know? And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be for the mass. Um, I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that question because I'm trying to seek it, find it for myself as well. Because I think in this world, we need to be more conscious of ourselves,
Hmm.
what we do, and also of other people, you know, and not always just only chase the money.
Yeah. Well, you said it beautifully earlier too, that it's again protecting that innocence, and you were still feeding your creativity and those juices by doing something selfishly for you. So you're with your hands creating and crafting something for yourself that you're proud of, for you, not sharing it with the world, just for you. Um, and then back to just like being selfish and taking care of your energy in general, I think is why you're so balanced and why you're able to navigate this world and just be authentic and yourself and not have to put on, this mask or whatever. It's always genuine, and I appreciate that. So thank you for sharing that. But so you've done so much. Your portfolio is amazing. You've worked with like, stars, and it's endless, like your credits and the royalties that you have. But so at this point, how do you measure success in both your creative and entrepreneurial pursuits? And do they overlap in any way?
Um, well, unfortunately, they overlap because I live off my art, or so far I have. So in a way, success is also measured by the money that I make, you know. But I mean that's one part. That's the entrepreneur part, I guess. The other part
Sure.
for me is like, does it really make me happy? You know, there's like, I mean,
Mm,
I have a huge resume. I mean, as you mentioned, and you know, like 90% of those people, it was horrible experience. You know, like 10% is so I'm striving for the 10%, you know. Like, I mean,
oh,
I've worked with so many like choreographers here in LA, and there's only two or three choreographers that I could think of that are have been treated me well and humane, you know, like yeah. And that's what I'm striving for, and that's success for me, like these building a community of uh of people, of caring people, you know. I think
mm,
one thing that has been on my mind a lot lately is that I don't know, maybe you see it too because you moved away from LA, but the showbiz industry attracts a very certain kind of person, like let's call them people with narcissistic traits, you know, and I feel like LA attracts those people, but specifically the industry. And I've been navigating that, you know, like this um I'm trying to find the people that are not, don't
yeah,
have those traits. And
yeah,
there's not a lot of them. But I
yeah,
try, success for me is finding those people, working with those people, and um making art with those people. Because I'm in here for the long run, not for the short. You know, I mean, I've been here
yeah,
for
yeah,
I mean, I've been dancing for 40, 20. Shit. I've been dancing for almost 30 years, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's
Oh,
amazing.
and I don't plan to stop in any way, but I also know that I don't, there's a lot of jobs that I don't do anymore. I don't want to do anymore.
Yes, absolutely. Setting those healthy boundaries, knowing your self-worth, and I can definitely understand your observations with that particular market. I'm born and raised from Los Angeles, so that's all I really knew. Like, and being creative was something that just w is within me as well, because that was what I inherited through, my mother's expression. And but yes, did I experience, people that are not authentic and real all the time? Yeah, a lot of the time. So that 10% that you speak about, those pearls, like hold on to that. And I can tell that when you travel and when you tour and you have your, conventions and your master classes that you're iconically known for, that you attract that as well. I can tell that your following is also that 10%. Does that make sense? So because you're practicing what your authentic self is and what you're going to attract, what you described earlier as far as like receiving, it's like a give and take. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's fluidness. So which is part of dancing and part of your art. So I think it's beautiful that you can still portray that um so genuinely and still fight for those 10%. So don't stop that. Keep that going. And I know it's going to follow you wherever you go. And you're a legend, period. Like in our industry, you are like as modest as you are and humble, which we appreciate. That's why you are a legend. So, and I'm so grateful that we've crossed paths in so many ways, and we're still continuing to do that for each other. And I promise you, this is an artist renaissance. I feel it. If you continue to protect that 10% with others around you, it'll shift the energies that you are supposed to attract, you know? And good things will come. You just gotta believe that.
But may I ask, how is it for you to experience now that you moved away from LA? How is it for you to make like friendships or like in biz like do you is there a difference for you? And if so, what is the difference for you? Talking about like
Yeah.
what we talked about, like the narcissistic or like the superficial
Hmm.
part about.
Yeah. No, that's 100% valid. I'm gonna have to say, so I never thought that I would live anywhere else. And when we were put in that situation of, which you are very aware of because you were a neighbor, our landlord passing, and then property management coming in with real estate and how outrageous it is in Los Angeles, we were put in this predicament of, these are the options that we have. So what's going to bring us joy? Where do we see ourselves with what we do within our industries that we feel we can grow in. Sorry for that noise. And we found ourselves always coming back to Orlando, Florida, and this is a big melting pot. This is a big, diverse, um, just multi-generational, international destination for so many different people. And I love that. Did I have reservations first coming in? Absolutely. Was I concerned about, it being politically like a red state and all the things, and I'm gay, I'm a man of color, and I'm married to a man, you know what I mean? But I trusted the process. I was kind to myself. I gave myself grace. And as I came and pursued projects that I had been wanting to fruition, which I had no time in LA to do, like the book, the palette, all the stuff, the universe showed me. The universe showed me that, you know what? You're the light you have, that love that you and your husband carry. You can create community home wherever you go. It doesn't matter where you live. As long as you guys have together and you have those same values together and you talk to each other about it, then that's naturally going to attract the good. And it did. Now I'm seeing these beautiful lights within the fitness industry for Johnny, within the beauty industry for myself, and you know what it is though? I'm continuing to be of service. So that's always my mission statement. Be of service to others, humanity. How can I help you? Therefore, it's unselfish and it naturally comes back and it helps me without even me being trying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's the number one thing is that wherever I go, I want to leave a positive impact. I want you to not remember the makeup or the material things of it. I want you to remember how you felt. Like, how did I make you feel when I spoke to you? Does that make sense? Or
Yeah,
when you
totally.
looked in that mirror. So that's my mission now. Um, and it's aligned with Johnny's, and I feel it's domino affecting around, and it's really beautiful. So I encourage you to continue to chase that 10%. So that will counteract and also, bring you the love and light that you're in search for. But thank you for being so vulnerable and open about that. I love that so much. What are some highlights? What are some moments of like, dang, I did that. The 10%. Can we talk about that you were just so proud of,
Um,
that just kind of stood out, and you want to look back and it's on your, when you pass, it's on your what's it called? The stone. It's on your stone.
well, the
What does it
10%, I
say?
mean, for me, one of the things is like, what I'm proud of is, coming from where I came from, where it is like following my heart and just pack my bags and move to LA, because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
I was born
that's a
in a jungle and basically, literally, and figuratively,
mm-hmm.
And then I grew up in Switzerland where everything is like secure and
A certain way.
a
Yeah.
certain way. And I just like uh I mean I just moved out here with no backup plan, and I knew I have no family to support. And I mean, in LA, you can get a lot of numbers if you want to have sex, but if you're trying to if you need some help, you cannot call anyone, right? And so,
Right.
yeah, I think that's one, like, I will never have, when I'm old, one of my biggest fear was like to ask myself, what if? And that's something I don't have to ask anymore, you know?
Yeah. I just got chills. That was beautifully said. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, you guys. So for season two, we have another favorite segment of mine where we get to spotlight our guests.
The library is open! Because reading is what? Fundamental! There you have it, darling.
And it is called The Library is Open. No shade. This is to share light. This is an opportunity for Viet to share a book they're currently reading or their favorite book from the past. And what are your top three reasons why Viet? So go for it.
Okay. No, three books or just one book?
One book and your three reasons why.
Oh, okay, good. So then my favorite book that I've been reading for a long time and always read it over and over again is this book. It's from Christiane Aguilera, The Key to Self-Liberation. And this book is more like a encyclopedia of psychosomatics. So if you haven't, if as I said, the answer, I'm taking care of my body. So whenever I have an issue, like elbow issue, whatever issue, it's similar to like Louise Hay. She made it popular, where you like read, okay, I have issue with my elbows, and then do
Yeah.
like what is the reason
It's
and
like holistic stuff.
yeah, what kind of meditate, what are my thoughts about it? And this is it's just more detailed. It's like a huge and a thick book. So this is one of my
Can you
go-to
hold it up
books.
again, please? Christian Berland. That's beautiful. I like the cover.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the book that I'm reading right now. And there's also another book from Dr. Ravini, It's Not
Okay.
You.
Mm.
And it's about identifying and healing from narcissistic people. And for me, it's not specifically like a person. It's just like more me trying to navigate this industry and trying to stay healthy in a way, because I mean the typical traits of narcissistic people is love bombing, devaluation, and discard. And then comes
Mm.
hoovering, And if you
Hmm.
think about it, in our industry, like the love bombing part is like when they
Hmm.
want you,
Hmm.
like you
Hmm.
audition, you're the best, you want to be in front of the camera, but then while you do it during rehearsals or on camera, like, well, your hair is too long, you're too feminine, like you're too not masculine enough, you treat like this, instead devaluing
All
you.
the nitpicking, yeah.
Yeah, and then the discard is then when they're done with you, you're done, and you have
Yeah.
to deal with it. But the fact, for example, I mean, the latest music video that I did was for Lenny Kravitz, you know.
Yeah.
It's 2 months in, the music has come out. None of the dancer has been paid yet. Just
Mm.
like this is
Yeah.
like,
The
you
reality of
know,
it.
but then once they want you again, they start hovering. So this kind of thing, I try to navigate it. Like
Yeah.
that's a good book for me as well right
I
now.
love that. Thank you for sharing that. So the key to self-liberation, and the second one was It's Not You. I'll put that in the description. Thank you so much. All right, very cool. Um, I could talk to you forever. Like this, because we're friends and we have a history, but this is another segment that I really enjoy, and it's more of like rapid questions. So they're just random questions intuitively if you want to answer, not think about it too hard. It's called Wrapping Up Mindful Artist Rapid Cues. Question number one for you, Viet. Who is your hero and why?
Mhm. I thought about it a lot, and I think my biggest hero, and I'm going to tell you why, is my father. And it's a little bit of a tragic story, but when I told you we flew from Vietnam to Malaysia with a boat, and we are called boat people. So if you look at pictures of that from the war, it was a tiny boat, and 180 people were stacked on this boat, and we drove over the sea for 3 days and 3 nights. The day we left Vietnam, there were three boats. One of them got hijacked by the pilot. The other one, and when it got hijacked by the pilot separated the woman and the man. They raped the woman, and the man had to jump into the water, so they killed them. The other boat, right before it arrived in Malaysia, one of the border police, they pulled the boat back into the sea, and then it broke, and the people drowned. And those out of three boats, only one of them arrived, and it was the boat that my father drove because he was a captain then. So in my eyes, he has saved 140 people, 84 people, and he also has saved my life, you know. But if for him, this whole experience of war was such traumatic, and that when he moved to Switzerland, there was finally peace. But he started drinking, you know, he became alcoholic, and in his mind, I think he never realized how much of a hero he was for those people, you know, and for me as well. So yes, he is kind of a hero for me.
What is your dad's name?
My father's name is Can Dang.
Shout out to Kong Dong. I don't know if I said that correctly, but wow, that was a really beautiful story. I felt all of it. And yes, dad is a hero. And without his, maybe that's the courageousness that I'm vibing off. It's your dad. And he unfortunately suffered from a little bit of TP, didn't see his self-worth. And that comes with, you know, generations are not exposed to the self-care and the mental health opportunities and references that we now have access to. So he's so proud of you. Is he still with us?
No, he had cancer,
I'm
pancreatic
sorry.
cancer based on alcohol, and
Yeah,
then
but
he died.
mom is still with us, and I have met
Yes,
her, and she is
yes.
stunning and always looks so beautiful and like ageless. She's yeah, just like you. You're gonna be like that. So wow, thank you for sharing that. Okay, very cool. Viet, what is question number two for wrapping up my four artist rapid cues? What is your favorite music album of all time and why?
Oh,
I know, Mr.
you know,
Choreographer. You're on
yeah,
a de
I think
deserted
my
island. One disc man.
I think my answer is going to surprise you. I don't listen to a lot of music, you know,
That's
because
okay.
when I listen to music, my mind goes into choreographer mode, and I just do movements, and I listen to one song over and over. I can like listen to one song the whole month, you know, over and
Sure.
over again. So for me, and I was thinking about what is the album I've been listening in my whole life, and it's been one of my favorite ones, and it's been Jason Stevenson's guided meditations. Whenever I want to sleep, when I have a
Okay.
flight, whenever I have something, I just go on YouTube. I look for Jason Stevenson's guided meditation, and that's been bringing me through life. That's my favorite album. He's not an artist, but
That's valid. No, I love that.
yeah.
Hello, this is called mindful artistry for a reason. So, Jason Stevenson's meditation. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And this is gonna resonate with somebody I know. So it doesn't always have to be like pop or rock or dance. It can be music
Yeah.
is all, you know, it's all
It's also
genres.
different for me because, you know, sometimes you're a fan of someone, you know, sometimes it's good now to meet your idols. And then you start working for them, you're like, oh no, I don't know, I'm not gonna listen to your music again, you know, or like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you listen to music, but you cannot forget the treatment. So I'm like,
Mm. And there's also a thing when you're on set for music videos where they shoot them in different frequencies and different speeds. So you have like your regular tone, you have your halftime and your double time. So that song, that particular, if you're, especially I can imagine as a choreographer, and I'm just doing hair and makeup, so I can imagine that that song, it's like embedded in your brain at point. It's like you want to get, you're over it. You know what I mean? Because it's
yeah,
like days of it, and some music videos are treated like cinema. They're like films, they're like short
yeah,
films, so they're multiple days. So I can imagine that. Yeah. So I love that you chose meditation for your music album. That's very cool. All right. Yeah, we have one more question for wrapping up Mindful Artist Rapid Cues. Question number three. What is your favorite quote of all time? and why?
My favorite quote is when you stop chasing, you give the right things a chance to catch you. That's my favorite quote. And yeah, I think it's just self-explanatory, and I mentioned many times already. I believe in like magnetism, that you attract the things. I don't like inside, like, yeah, internal, I don't believe in go and chase and look for and fight for the things anymore, because it's not,
Yeah,
it might be successful, it might work,
yeah.
but I wonder for how long,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
beautiful. And who's this quote from? Is it just like a general quote that you've
I don't know who
discovered?
it is from. I just found it on.
No, I love it. So one more time, when you stop chasing,
You give the right things a chance to catch you.
I love that. Beautiful. Well said, my friend. Bravo. Thank you so much. That was awesome. You guys, Viet Dang, where can we follow you? What's the next project? Anything that you want to plug? Maybe you do want to do your hoodie stuff. I don't know. Or maybe I see a Viet Dang book in the future too. I would love to help you with that if you pursue that.
Oh, we can talk about that. I wrote a few. I wrote 100 pages a
Okay,
few
you're
years
on
ago,
you're onto a right track.
but I'm
I'm
not
happy to
happy. But
help
I'm not
you.
happy with it. Yeah. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Dang Dang Viet, and also my homepage, vietdang.com or .net or .ch, which is Switzerland, not China, by the way.
She's
And
universal.
yeah, so that's it. And yeah,
I love that. I love you. Thank you so much. You guys, this is Mindful Artist Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things mindfulness, creativity, while balancing spirituality and being an entrepreneur. That song you're about to hear is called Mi Corazón. Make sure that you give it a thumbs up, give us some ratings, some reviews, share this with somebody that you love. And if you're an aspiring entrepreneur that is creative while balancing your life, email me at mindfulartist@podcastgmail.com. Maybe you'll be a guest on our next episode. Till the next time, you guys, thank you so much. Make an impact in somebody's lives. Much love and light to you all. Bye, Viet. Love you. Bye, everybody.
I know.